Good evening, viewers all, and welcome to the first ever Worlds Elsewhere workshop production, The Space Between, written by Repertory Member Meredith Cook and directed by co-founder Kyle Kallgren. It is a play in one act about the value of connection in uncertain times, and will be followed by a talkback with the writer, crew, and principal cast. As this is a socially distanced theater company, we kindly request that for the duration of the performance, you turn off your phones, unless of course you are watching this on your phone. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you're so inclined. And now, please have your boarding passes ready, make sure you are sitting comfortably, and enjoy the show.
At Rise, an empty space terminal at some point in the distant future. The echoes of other passengers walking past can be heard, a general din of people moving. One bench is empty. Mix Mori walks in. They sit on the bench, watching as people pass. After some time, Corey, a young woman with an oversized backpack, walks in. She sits at the opposite end of the bench and nods to them. Mix Mori is a bit surprised anyone has actually noticed them there.
Morning!
Morning?
Old saying, apologies. Hello!
Hi.
Attention, voyage Omega-45 has been delayed 23 minutes. We formally apologize for any difficulties this may have caused.
Oh, come on.
That's your flight, I presume?
Yeah,
Where to?
Callisto.
Oh, that's nice. One of the Jupiter moons, right?
Yeah,
Good university there.
that's why I'm going.
Really? What's your major?
I'm not there to study.
It's nice this time of year.
Callisto?
Sure is. I've been a few times. And if I remember right, it should be in the shadow of the planet. Cold, though. I hope you brought a jacket. Well, it looks like you packed your whole closet there. Extended stay, I take it?
Probably.
Probably. Not entirely sure?
Well, it depends.
It depends.
And you need to know my every move. Why?
Just curious is all.
I don't even know you.
Oh, well then, Mix Mori at your service. They, them, if you're so inclined. And you are?
Yeah, I'm going to tell a total stranger my name. That's smart.
All right. You can keep your secrets. Apologies.
So, where are you headed? I mean, you know where I'm going. Seems fair.
Seems fair. Kepler.
Kepler? Where the hell is Kepler?
Alpha Centauri. It's a smaller planet, a mining colony.
That sounds incredibly depressing.
It's part of the job.
So, what's your job?
A bit of this and that. I'm in the funeral industry.
That's still depressing.
No, it's not so bad. I've been at it a while.
How long?
I've lost count.
Huh.
Attention, voyage Omega-45 has been moved up. Boarding begins in 3 minutes and 30 seconds at gate Sigma 24. Please line up in an orderly fashion. Thank you.
Well, that's your cue.
Yeah.
Have a nice trip.
Thanks. I'm looking for someone. He's at the university.
Ah, well, I hope you find him.
Thanks.
Corey looks back at them before walking off to her gate. Mix Mori goes back to people watching.
Trust the carrier with reliable connection no matter where you travel. Guaranteed. SmartNet, we've got you covered.
A different, smaller space station. A week or so later, a monitor above is running a newscast.
That was mayoral candidate Quinn on her proposed referendum. And coming up next, we have a social story on Callisto's first ever music festival.
Well, how about them apples?
What? Oh.
Another old phrase. Hello again.
Hi. I
Hello.
didn't think I was going to see you again.
Oh?
Yeah. I was a bit rude before.
Well, we aren't always at our best in transit.
Still, I'm sorry.
Not needed, but appreciated.
I didn't even introduce myself before, did I?
You did not.
Corey. She, her, if you don't mind.
Mori shakes her hand.
It's nice to properly meet you.
Sure. So how was Kepler?
Oh, it was grand.
Really?
Sure was. I finished up earlier than I thought, though, so I'm off.
Where to this time?
Io, biggest moon in the Jupiter system. Just beautiful this time of year. How was the university trip?
It was fine. It was fine.
I take it you didn't find him then?
No.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. He's just somewhere else.
Ah. I don't mean to pry, but
But you're going to?
who is he to you? All I meant is space fare isn't the cheapest thing in the galaxy, and you seem to be gone a long time. I just was curious. Apologies. I didn't mean to bother you.
He's my brother.
Oh,
Yeah, he was going to school on Callisto in the nursing program.
was?
He transferred last semester. Of course, he didn't tell me, but it's fine. I asked around campus, checked the directory, and I guess he found a better school and left. He's got to be there.
Where's there?
Attention, Flight 42-Beta, non-stop voyage to Hyperion City, boarding in 20 minutes.
There.
Oh, Hyperion.
Wait, you've been there too?
Second biggest city on Mars. I've been there loads of times.
Really?
Work has me going all over the place.
Funerals or something, right?
Something like that, yes.
That's still fairly depressing.
It's not so bad. You go everywhere, meet a lot of people.
If you say so, I guess. I should probably get boarding.
Ah, well, safe travels.
Thanks.
confirmed that the line collapsed, and footage from nearby security cameras show that, as specialists feared, the entire shaft caved in and closed off. Death estimates are somewhere in the 200s.
227.
Once again, this broadcast is brought to you by Starbright Cruises. See the galaxy the way it was meant to be seen.
A month or so since the last scene, this terminal has a snack stand with a "Be back in 5 minutes" sign on the counter. Corey comes in, sizing up the cart. Double-checking for cameras, she passes by the cart and swipes a bag of chips or two, stuffing it in her bag. McSmorey walks past. They recognize Corey and wave.
Well, what are the odds? Hello again.
Yeah, hi. This is crazy. How do we keep running into each other?
It's highly improbable, to say the least.
Yeah.
It's been a while. How are you? Search going well?
I'm fine. But it's not going well. Search is still going.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, as soon as I made it to Hyperion campus, I asked around. Apparently, he got an internship at one of their sister schools on Gleese of all places.
Gleese. I think I've visited before. It was
Really?
a few years ago on business.
Is there anywhere you haven't been?
No, nowhere I can think of. It's quite the long flight to Gleese, almost 40 light years away.
Yeah, 40-hour voyage.
And quite the hefty ticket. I'm just curious, is family back home sending?
No. Aunt Cass isn't the type to spring for travel credits.
Well, then how are you getting from there to here? Here to there?
Some digging on those discount travel databases goes a long way. I checked out those fleets that cut the price or let you fly free if you load cargo for a few hours. That's pretty handy. Other times... Look, don't tell anyone, but sometimes I just stick to the back on more crowded or long haul ships. They don't always check for boarding passes.
Clever thinking. And don't worry, mum's the word. Another old saying.
That's fine, thanks. Anyway, what are you doing on Mars? Still business stuff, yeah?
Yes, I just touched down. Had to leave Io early. It was interesting.
Oh my god, I forgot you were on Io. I just heard about it on the news.
Yes, it was everywhere from what I can tell.
Wait, yeah, the moon was quarantined last I checked. How are you off Io?
As of yesterday, they reopened. I was on the first flight back out.
Oh, that must have been awful. I'm so sorry.
No need to apologize. It's hard to predict these things.
Still, that's terrifying. How are you so okay with it?
Plagues pop up every now and then, and to your point, they can be scary, but
Yeah.
they don't really affect me. I never get sick. I'm lucky, I suppose.
Lucky. Yeah.
Anyhow, I I need to find my ride, if you'll excuse me.
Yeah. See you around, I guess.
Try to contain the congestion.
Yet another space terminal, 8 or so months later. There is still a bench and a computer comms in the corner. Corey enters nervously. She has a piece of paper in her hand. After a moment, she goes up to the comms and puts in a few credits. The screen lights up, and she punches in the number on the paper.
Hey, sorry I couldn't catch you. Leave me a message and all that. Thanks.
Chet, hi. It's me. Haven't heard from you in a while, like over a year or something. I'm doing okay, thanks for asking. I still don't have a comms, it's way too expensive. But I'm still saving up. You seem to be doing good. Congrats on getting into that volunteer program, that's fantastic. Your old roommate told me. I ran into him. Also got this number from him, so... Maybe you can answer this time?
Hey, sorry I couldn't catch you. Leave me a message and all that. Thanks.
So anyway, did you get that last telelink I sent? I mean, I guess not. You're kind of moving fast. But, listen, Oddcast kicked me out a while ago, actually. You know how she gets. And I was just wondering, could I just... Please. Answer the phone, pick up the phone.
Hey, sorry I couldn't catch you. Leave me a message and all that. Thanks.
Could I just crash with you for a bit? Just until Cass cools off or I get a job or something? You're busy. I get it. There's more important things. But could you at least say something? I miss you. It's been a year and a half, and I don't even know if these are getting to you, or if...
Hey, sorry I couldn't catch...
Fuck!
She hefts a bag over her shoulder, starting to walk off in a huff. She turns, seeing Mix Mori on the bench and working. She stares for a moment, then walks past them, still fuming.
Do you travel? The constant change of gravity keeping you down? You need Gravicar.
Yep, another spaceport. 2 months or so later. Corey sits on the ground, back up against the bench as she reads a book. It's the same old beat-up novel we saw before. She's absorbed in the book. She's gotten used to tuning the ads around her out.
Pardon me. Oh, hello again.
Hi.
Mind if I sit?
No, go ahead. So, got work on Titania, huh?
Yes, actually, I was working in Aldera, more precisely.
Aldera? So you were close to that big asteroid that hit?
I was, yes.
Damn, I'm glad you made it out in one piece.
Mind if I ask what you're reading?
What? Oh, it's The Illustrated Man by Ray. What's his nuts?
One of the Earth classics. How nice.
Yeah, I got it back when I was in school for an essay or something. I think it's one of the last physical printings, actually.
Hey, at least you got a real book out of it.
Yeah. It's kind of weird, though.
What is?
You know, there are all these old books and movies and all that crap about what they thought life on Mars was going to be like, or how space travel would work. Mountains of it. And everyone way back when read it or watched it or whatever. And then when they went to actually start getting out here, they designed everything after all those stories. Like Hyperion, Valerian, Altera even. those cities were fake until they weren't.
What's the phrase? Life imitates art?
Yeah, I guess so.
I think it's nice this time of year.
What is?
Earth. I was there a few months back.
Really?
I think. Yes, San Francisco. Beautiful city. Wonderful people. I started my work on Earth, you see, so forgive me if I'm a little nostalgic.
Wait, you're from Earth?
Well, yes. Yes, I am.
That's crazy.
Why is that crazy?
I'm from Earth.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, would you look at that? Small galaxy, I suppose.
Yeah, that's totally insane. In 2 years, I've never met anyone else from home.
It's highly improbable, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm from...
From geniuses at Siren's Escape comes the next revolution in VR technology, the Vesper 27.
Never mind. You ever try one of those VR suits?
Can't say that I have.
Me neither. My Aunt Cass does, though.
Your aunt?
Yeah. She took care of my brother and me when we were kids. And you know how it is back at home. There are ads for that Siren's Escape stuff everywhere. Step away from it all. Pick a year and live in it. We didn't have much, but Cass was able to get one of the earlier models for cheap, and I don't know, things were different then.
How do you mean, different?
I mean, at first it wasn't so bad. So what? She forgot my birthday. That had happened before. But then it just kind of spiraled. Cass would spend days in that game. She'd rather live in 2043 than now.
Oh.
Right? Like, she wasn't even alive then. It's all romanticized bullshit. And how can you talk to someone who literally lives in the past? One time she spent 3 months in the game. 3! I don't even think she noticed when Ciano left home. Sorry. You probably don't care.
That's all right. I'm sorry, though.
Why? You didn't do anything.
So she didn't leave the game when your brother left?
No. But in fairness, it was all kind of sudden. He applied to Callisto on a dare.
A dare?
A dare. He was always talking about becoming a doctor. He could talk about anatomy for hours. One of these days, Corey, I'm going to get off this rock and help people. And one day I finally just said, fine, get off this rock. And I bet him 20 credits that he couldn't do it. But then he applied and he got in and he got a full ride.
That's amazing for him.
Yeah, it is. The thing is, I wasn't surprised he got in. I just didn't think he'd actually go. He's actually on Enceladus right now.
And that's where you're going?
Yeah, apparently he's training there for the Auxilium project.
I don't think I've heard of them.
Not a lot of people have. It's a new program, sending volunteer healthcare workers to abandoned colonies. His old intern buddy told me he enlisted 2 weeks ago.
Sounds like the perfect thing for him.
Yeah. He's going to help a lot of people. And I'm proud of him. Of course I am. I just...
Water.
What am I doing?
Pluto. Crisp. Clean. Classic.
I think I'd best be going. My next flight is in a few minutes. Mars again for a quick engagement.
All right. Yeah. Great. Have a nice trip.
You as well. Enjoy the book.
Thanks.
After a long day at work, who doesn't deserve a little treat? 0 G ice cream, the finest, but nothing.
A darkened cruise terminal, illuminated by only a few dim work lights. The screens above are off. Next to the entryway is an elegant sign reading Star Bright Luxury Cruises. The entrance gated with a velvet rope, and a standing sign, closed for the season. Most notably, the ceiling of this room is glass, and for the first time, distant stars are visible. An expensive-looking telescope sits off to the side. Silence fills the stage, as Corey pokes her head in, looking around for any sign of life. After a moment, she jumps the velvet rope, dropping her bag on a bench. She dashes for the telescope. For such a complicated machine, Corey puts it to life easily. This is definitely something she's done before. She smiles as she peers into the eyepiece. The telescope's moving pieces doing, well, cool stuff.
Are you supposed to be...
I didn't break it, I swear. Jesus Christ, you scared the crap out of me. I thought you were security.
I didn't mean to scare you.
For someone who wears dress shoes, you are awfully quiet.
I'll take that as a compliment. It's a bit late in the day for trespassing. What brought you in?
Trespassing is such a strong word. My flight got canceled again. Apparently, there's a storm on Venus. The acid rain's the worst that it's been in like a decade. The help desk didn't open for a few hours, and I heard a flight attendant mention this was back here. It seemed like such a waste to just let this thing collect dust. Why should the rich assholes who can afford star cruises be the only ones to see something cool?
How did you even learn to work that thing?
My school had a bare bones astronomy program for a year, access to some piece of crap telescope for a little while. Getting that old thing to work was like the one thing I was good at. It wasn't like there was much else to do back home outside of hyperstreams and VR sets. You get bored, you know? Looking up at all this just kind of became a hobby. Come here, take a look. It's trained on the Halley-Bob comet right now.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's amazing.
Right? It's gorgeous. One of the brightest comets ever recorded, too. It was around Earth way back in the late 20th century, but it wasn't rediscovered until colonies started branching out. It was hypothesized for a while that it had a binary nucleus, that round thing at the front. But upon further inspection, they realized it was just uncharacteristically bright. Sorry. You found the one thing I could talk your ear off about. So what about you? You've got hobbies, you knit or something?
No, I don't knit. My line of work doesn't really allot time for hobbies. I read, I suppose, on longer flights, but nothing else really comes to mind.
Really? I really don't get that. That's so dull? No offense.
None taken. It's not dull to me. Well, the commutes can be long and the work itself can be a bit hectic, let's say. But that's not why I do it. It's the people I meet. Oh, and speaking of people to meet, I need to get going. This next meeting I really can't miss. Enjoy your stargazing.
I will, thanks. Bye. Although, if anyone asks, I'm not here. I really don't want to get kicked out again.
Corey turns her attention back to the telescope, excitedly fiddling with the doodads on the control pad. The search can wait for a day. There's a whole galaxy to see right now.
Let's try this.
Welcome back. We come to you with breaking news. Conflicts between the Juno 3 and Nix 598 colonies have reached a fever pitch. All passage near and around Pluto has been shut down, with hundreds of flights redirected as we speak. Aid through the auxiliary project is being sent, but only time will tell how long it will take.
Stage is black for a moment, save for a red flashing light as the PA system goes. Slowly lights come up on the next spaceport, 6 months later. It's chaos as people are rushing to their stations.
Attention! All passengers to the Pluto sector must have clearance badges to be cleared to fly. Please be on high alert and report any activity you deem suspicious to security. Thank you for your cooperation.
Corey comes in, staring down at a boarding pass with official-looking stuff on it. She looks tired and stressed, like she hasn't slept in a week. She rushes past Mix Mori, who tries to get her attention.
Corey, wait up!
What the hell are you doing here?
That's not important. What are you doing here?
What do you think? Xeno has already been dispatched. He's on Nix. He's going on Nix.
So you're just going to the middle of a war zone?
Look, I don't have time for this.
How did you get clearance?
The guard really liked Ray Bradbury, so I traded him. And I've got a flight to catch, so if you'll excuse me.
Mori doesn't let her pass.
Just wait a second.
Why? So you can tell me not to go?
This is actually dangerous.
You think I don't know that?
No, it's just... I have a bad feeling. Maybe just wait a few days. It's not the right time.
A few days? I haven't been this close to actually seeing him again for almost 3 goddamn years. And you're telling me to wait a few days because you have a bad feeling.
I'm just trying to help.
Why?
Why?
Why do you want to help me? You don't know me.
I just don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah,
this is dangerous.
Yeah, you said that already.
Voyage 1530 departing in 5 minutes.
Look, you really want to help? Then let me through.
Corey tries to push past, but Mori doesn't budge.
Why? Why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you so insistent on getting to him?
Because he promised. He promised we weren't going to split up. He promised he was going to write. And then he just flies off to school, and I get nothing for 6 months. And he just, dropped off the face of the galaxy, and he just left me with Kaz. Like I don't fucking exist. I need to see him. I need some goddamn answers.
Corey shoves Mori to the side, bitterly stomping toward off stage.
I'm going to Nix too.
And stay the fuck away from me.
The last station, 3 days later. Corey is wearing black. Her backpack slumped next to her, depleted. Her arm is in a sling, and she is staring down at the plain white box in her hands. Her eyes are red from crying.
Once again, Voyage 57-ZX, direct passage to Memoriam. The ship will arrive in 10 minutes. Thank you.
Corey, You're muted.
Don't say I told you so. Or that you're sorry. Or about some anecdote about all the places you've been. Just don't.
I wasn't going to.
Good. I saw you there when it happened. That's what I can't get over. I had just gotten off the ship, and it was just utter chaos. Everyone was shouting. Half the buildings were on fire. The others were rubble. And it was all so dark. One of the nurses said that they hadn't seen the sun in 2 weeks. But she knew him. Pointed me to his outpost. It felt like hours to get there, and it was so dark. People kept trying to get me back on the ship, but I was so close. I had to get through. I pushed and kicked and ran through all that. And I actually saw him for a split second. He was helping someone walk inside, and then you walked in.
Corey.
And I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. But no, it was you. You walked into the outpost, calm as anything, like you couldn't care less that the world was on fire. Then, well, I saw the grenade hit the roof. I didn't see much after that. I got thrown back in the explosion, hit my head. My arm got near torn off. But then I looked up, and you were still there. The only thing left standing. Like nothing had ever happened. Not a hair out of place. And when the volunteers rushed over looking for survivors, looking for anything salvageable, none of them saw you. One looked your way. There was nothing. They were looking straight at you, but didn't see you. You're not human, are you?
No.
Do I want to know?
There's, I've never had to explain this to anyone. Humanity has given me many names over the millennia. Some people thought that I rode a pale horse or that I had reaped many souls before their time. Others try not to think about me, and some obsess over never meeting me at all. But they all do in their time. It may not be a time they think is fair or one that they like, but that time does come. All I know is I've been here for as long as people have. Maybe longer. I travel where it feels right, and where I go, people pass on. And they call me Death.
Death.
Yes.
That is vaguely terrifying.
Only vaguely? That's a change. Many find me entirely terrifying.
I guess I'm more confused than anything else. Why can't I see you?
A few have seen me before their time came, and truly, I don't know why it happens, but it does. Last time was 50 years ago? 70? It's nice when it does, though. I don't really talk to anyone outside of these little conversations. It can get, well, lonely is the best word for it.
Yeah. I can imagine that.
Where are you headed after this, if you don't mind me asking?
Memoriam, it's the graveyard planet. I mean, you know it.
I'm familiar.
Yeah. I called Aunt Cass after, well, someone had to tell her. She's picking me up at the station. There's a park you might have liked, so it's supposed to be nice this time of year.
And after that?
After. I don't know.
Oh, here.
Thanks.
Would you like a hug?
Thank you. I saw this article a few months ago. I didn't think too much of it, but it was for this new astronomy outpost a few light years from Sirius. Some research project that finally got a grant. Look, it's a shot in the dark. They might not even be hiring. I sure as hell don't have any references. And, I still got to iron things out with Cass, but I don't know. It might be something.
Seems a good enough place to start as any. I think it'll be a good fit for you.
Sure.
Attention. Voyage 57-ZX now boarding.
People start lining up at the gate.
Well, I need to get going, and that's your flight.
Maury gets up to leave, but stops and turns.
I've seen enough grief to know this. One day, as unlikely as it seems, you're going to laugh at a joke. Or maybe you'll look out the window of a ship and you'll see a supernova. Or you'll find a new book. Or maybe you'll find a new comet and it just blows you away. You're not always going to feel like this, Corey. Some people do, but I don't think you will. Don't ask how you get there. I honestly couldn't tell you. But I think you will.
How? How do you know that?
I just have a feeling.
Corey waits a moment to compose herself before she gets in line to board, carrying the box close to her chest. A crew member takes a ticket.
Miss, who are you talking to?
Oh. A friend, I think.
Corey boards the ship. Fade out. End of play.
Thank you for joining us for The Space Between, a Worlds Elsewhere workshop production. We hope you enjoyed the show. We will now take a 5-minute intermission, which will be followed by a talkback with the writer, cast, and crew, so please stick around. Worlds Elsewhere Theatre Company is a charity theater, and all the work we do is paid for by your generous donations. So if you can afford to donate, you can tip us a unit of currency at paypal.com/paypalme/Worlds Elsewhere, link in the description and program. Thank you, and we'll see you in 5. Welcome back to the Talkback for The Space Between, Worlds Elsewhere's first workshop production. Joining us are Meredith Cook, our playwright, Kyle Kallgren, our director, and Jasmine Garcia and Hillary Thomas, Corey and Mix Mori, respectively.
Which we probably should change our names to.
Yeah, go for it. We have some interview style questions prepared for them, but if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them either in the Groundlings chat or the Discord, and we might get to them. So with that, let's go. Meredith, you're first. What was it like seeing something you'd written come to life for the first time on stage?
It was so cool. I think the first thing I said after just the table read, I was like, thank God this is finally out of my head. Because when I was writing this, it was for a class. And when I was continuing to write, it was like, bring in a scene every week sort of thing. And I was only ever imagining my classmates, essentially, as the characters. Shout out to Elle and everybody else from the class if they're watching. But it was so cool to see someone else interpret what I had written, because I had always had my own interpretation and how I imagined everything happening. And it was so cool to just see everyone else's view on it. And it was, I don't have anything more coherent than that. It's just awesome.
As we've said before, you're a writer, so you need, at least 5 hours and 2 weeks of editing to be able
other person to edit, peer review it. Yeah.
And what was the process like workshopping from other people's suggestions?
It was, I tried to describe it in the playbill thing. It was really fulfilling to get constructive feedback on it. Because whenever I would show it to other people outside of class, they'd say oh, it was great. I'm like, cool. How do I make it better though? And to get the feedback of what worked, what didn't, and then being able to filter that in was really helpful. The note about how is Corey getting from place to place? Because I had forgotten oh yeah, she has to have money for stuff. And other people caught what I hadn't. And that was really helpful. And I'm so proud of this piece, and I'm so proud of everyone for working on it. Thank you so much.
Well, we're really excited to work on it. So go ahead.
Just so you know, you were only actually live for the last minute of that answer.
Oh no!
No, the intermission screen is still up. But anyway, you can see us now. Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, dear. Hello,
everybody. Rewind.
Were they able to hear us? Or
yes,
just...
they could.
No.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, for our lovely faces.
Question for Meredith from the chat. Why are you so good at writing?
I've been wondering that too.
I don't know. That was my one non-dump stat in building the character sheet. That is me.
Oh.
People heard you. That's the important thing.
That's good.
Anyway.
All right, Kyle, your turn. What was it like working on a completely new work?
Freeing. Because there's no precedent. So I'm not thinking about all the other productions of A Midsummer Night's Dream I've seen, for example. And so when you're working with an original script, it is fun to just see all the possible ways that it can morph as it evolves. And it was just a breeze to direct, honestly, just because everyone had such amazing instincts about who these characters were and what they wanted and what they could bring. And it was just an absolute joy to rehearse this.
And what was it like how did it change your process between the two scripts, working with a script that was actively changing as you worked with it?
Well, the second draft, honestly, it had more world building changes, more plot hole fixes, but the core of the relationship between these two characters was there from the beginning. And that's what we focused on in rehearsals. That's what we focused on in the workshop. And that was constant throughout. So that was easy to do, honestly. But
so Hillary, what was it like playing a personification of death?
Well, I mean, it was literally a dream come true. If you look at the blooper reel that's going to come out later and the behind the scenes video, hear more about this, but basically, like every 15-year-old in the 90s, I was obsessed with the Sandman, and I've been thinking about playing the personification of death since then, and accumulating kind of passive research and active research. Death is a topic that fascinates me. So in a lot of ways, this utterly a dream. That's it, long and short.
And what was your process for keeping such an inhuman being so human, for fear of quoting another piece of sci-fi? But yeah, I mean, one of the things that we've all been commenting throughout is that it's very clear, that Mix Mori is something else, but at the same time, it seems like they feel all of it. So what was that process like, being able to take those two very different things and do them at the same time?
It's really interesting because it's, I kind of stopped thinking about it after a while. Like once I internalized yes, I am death. It's very scary. What do I have to do today? Okay. Oh, I'm making a friend. Hooray. Let's try this. There's a sense of curiosity and really delight. I was really wanting to find those moments of connection and curiosity about a human, about this human specifically that I can talk to, and just trying to be friends. It helps that I myself am an intensely like socially awkward person at this moment in time due to the pandemic. I have forgotten how to people, and that was very helpful in this role. I just embraced it.
Excellent. So Jasmine, what was it unlike unpacking such a closed character like Corey? Oh no, she froze. Oh, you're back.
There you are.
There you are.
She
Hello.
is.
You're back. Okay.
You froze for a sec.
You're back.
Freezing?
You're back. You're good.
You're back. You're back. So I had just asked.
I don't know if she is back, actually.
Oh no. Oh dear.
Live theater.
Yay.
Live internet theater.
Live virtual theater, even.
Live from our living rooms.
You may want to restart your Zoom, Jasmine.
Oh,
I guess so. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, so
apparently my bandwidth is low. That's great.
So while we wait for for Jasmine to come back, a question from Jake, actually. Hillary, at any point during preparing for this show, did you stare at yourself in the mirror and say, I am become death, destroyer of worlds? I didn't read the question before I started reading the question aloud, you asshole.
I like where that went. I was like, ooh, where's this going? Oh, okay. And if I said no, it would kind of be a lie. I mean, certainly that was the subtext. I didn't go Oppenheimer on this one. I did a lot of John Donne and a lot of Run the Jewels.
I do remember during the workshop you mentioned Emily Dickinson.
Yeah.
Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me.
I prefer because I could not stop for death. He kindly stopped for me. The carriage hell, but just ourselves and immortality.
Okay, I love it when I get into the Zoom meeting and Emily Dickinson is happening.
It is a play about someone who cannot stop for death, so they kindly stop for her.
Yeah, that's kind of perfect. I love it.
Yeah, I really wanted to lean more into the death who kindly stops, as opposed to the death that John Donne yells about being proud and defiant and all that. Like, and there's elements of that, I think, but it's not the best for making friends. You know, the old fire and brimstone.
Nah.
All right. So now that we've got Jasmine back, what was it like unpacking a character that was so closed off like Corey is?
It was oddly really easy because it's funny how Hillary mentioned how they've been, oddly enough, been training for this their entire life, because I think it's kind of been the same with Corey. Like, characters who are closed off because they have been hurt or neglected, that has always resonated with me. And so this just clicked immediately for me as I was reading the script. I was like, oh, I absolutely 100% get where this girl is coming from. This is going to be amazing. Like, I've written characters like this. I have fangirled over characters like this. It's just, and the thing is, these kind of characters, they are usually men. So it's nice having this kind of character be a girl. / woman, young woman.
All right. And then my other question for you is, when in your original read of the script, if you remember, did you realize what Mix Mori was, and how did that affect your interactions with them, both as an actor and as a character?
I feel like maybe subconsciously I was getting the sense that was what was going on. Like, yeah, memento mori, remember you must die. So like, like I had like a sense that something like that was going on. And once it was revealed, I'm like, it wasn't even so much a surprise as it was, okay, yeah, it was going to be something like this. And yeah, you've just got this young woman who's just dealing with all this stuff and just so angry at the world, I feel like, in a really big way. And now she is faced with, because especially with the last scene, I was really kind of trying to play up. Of course, she would be furious for a bit, but then as Mori is reminding her, no, this is not they are not the enemy here. They are just doing their job, which is a necessary job with life as it is now. And they're probably about as lonely, if not lonelier than you are. So maybe have a little compassion there, Corey. Maybe get over yourself. But so, yeah, it really felt like Corey kind of getting some more perspective on things, making her world a little bigger.
I definitely find it fascinating how often in fiction, especially in difficult times, I know that this play was originally written before COVID, but it definitely really fits now. The idea that death isn't the enemy. The enemy is time. The enemy is space. The enemy is people making bullshit decisions. So that
plagues.
Oh yeah. So definitely, I thought, like, when you originally submitted this play to us as like a workshop or something, we were all like, we need to do something with this. We don't know what it's going to be yet, because it was months before we decided exactly how we were going to do this. But we were like, we need to do something with this because, oh my gosh. So a question from Addie. This is for both Jasmine and Meredith. Meredith mentioned adding a way for Corey to pay for all of her travels. And we happen to know, but for the audience, at what point did that kind of gray legality of the way that Corey was moving through the world come into the script? And how did that change the character kind of as you worked it in?
I think that like gray legality, the disregard for trespassing and stuff definitely came in when I wrote the telescope scene, because I finished what I thought was the full play back in fall of 2019, like December-ish. And in between submitting for this and workshop starting, I had like a random idea for another scene to add, and that was the telescope scene. And that's where her like kind of be gay, do crime attitude started coming in.
And also eat the rich.
And that's just kind of where that started. And I feel like it added a really interesting layer to the character that wasn't there before.
Yeah, for me, it made perfect sense. Not even just because of the telescope scene, but again, because I just see Corey as somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of people in her corner. So she kind of feels like it's kind of her against the world. So what if I break a few laws just to get through things, or at least have something to live for. I really do not care. If a law is going to keep me from my brother, fuck you.
Steal from Walmart. I'm not your dad.
No, you. The funny thing is, though, I feel like Maury is the closest to a guardian she has. Although I know for a fact people are shipping it now, so I'm here for it.
Yeah, well, it's the internet. If it's not
it's the
horny,
internet.
come on now.
If they're not horny, we did something terribly, terribly wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly. I just never thought I'd be part of that sort of thing. But outside
Neither
of
did I,
maybe.
but
Neither did I.
no one ever does.
Yeah.
It's the internet.
I mean, with writing, I absolutely intend to make them horny, but not there.
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway.
So,
Have any of us met Joe Black? Asked the chat.
That's Jake screwing with us again. Don't worry, don't ignore that. So,
Typical
He's a nice
brother.
guy.
asked, how much should Greek mythology nerds read into the significance of Kore's name? And I will add, bringing up what Zeno's name was originally. I'm going to harass you about that, Meredith. Poor baby.
Oh, the
At
internet's
first-
gonna explode.
At first, I just chose the name because I thought I really wanted the aspect of like ancient Greek names in space because I thought that was cool. And I didn't do a lot of research into what the name, into who Kore is and stuff. So I was like, cool. It's a death god that adds into the theme of death everywhere. And then I read into the actual what Kore is. It's like, for those who don't know, it's another name for Persephone. Persephone. And originally, Zeno's name was Aedes, which was another name for Hades, and that did get changed. But I was very intentional with all the names in there because I imagined like Zeno, like Zeno's paradox, where you can only be halfway to something. But yeah. I was very grateful for the workshop process to change that.
Excellent. And then David asked, I'm okay with this sort of Groundhog Day style of this is a thing, but is there an in-universe or off-script reason for you that Corey, as opposed to anyone else, can see Mix Mori? This is something we talked about a lot at the workshop. So any thoughts on that or anything that's evolved on that?
I intentionally kept it kind of vague in that it's kind of a 1 in a million thing that happens, and even Mix Mori doesn't know why it happens. I didn't really have a particular reason for it. I just thought it was an interesting way for these two characters to connect with each other when they wouldn't normally.
Like
well,
the
they would
XG
eventually,
almost.
but
All
before,
right, so
yeah.
Here's going to be a question, I think, for Kyle and Cast from Fantagiro. Sorry if I mispronounced that. How was the work of building chemistry between two performers at a social distance?
That's always a bit of a mystery. I don't know. We get on Zoom, we talk to each other, we chat about stuff. I don't know. How do any two people like find chemistry over Zoom?
Yeah, damn. It's like,
I don't know.
I know you did a lot of like just kind of being together in Zoom, kind of settling into the characters, which I think.
And we did a lot of awkward technical, like, how do we hug?
Yeah.
How do we, what do we do?
Yeah.
And I think,
there's an incredible clip from rehearsal of Hillary just going, there. Yeah.
That's also in the
it is in the
behind-the-scenes
BTS
video, I believe.
video. You guys are in for
Right. So a comment from Bex that that Zeno was keeping himself from which is more Cupid and Psyche kind of thing, but Anyhow, and then of course Jake, who just wants to make me cry, said, "Hillary, where would Death take a holiday? Disneyland? Somewhere else?"
Oh golly, not Disneyland. As Maury doesn't like plague. Just gonna.
Another one from Meredith from Captain Kilowatt.
Hi, Dad.
Were there earlier versions of the script that made attempts to explain the technology behind the relatively rapid travel? Kudos to actors and cast to avoid the temptation to explain it because they believe it would detract. I agree. Too much pseudoscience makes babies sad. But did you have any specific thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Kallgren.
I didn't really think about it that much when I was because I figured this would, like, if we were doing Star Trek, this would take place on one of the many like hallway sets they have, and like exclusively on those sets, so you don't have to worry about like the warp.
Yeah, it's such a staple of sci-fi. I didn't even think about it.
In a really, really early draft of this play, it wasn't in space. It was in a bunch of train stations across the US. But I felt like that wasn't a big enough like journey to go on. So I was like, why don't I put it in space?
That's wonderful.
And we were better for it.
Yeah. Alrighty. Let's see. Anybody have any other questions, or do we want to wrap it up? Thereabouts. Oh, Jasmine, did you want to ask a question?
Oh, no. I'm just saying, give me questions. I'm living for this.
All right. So I think with that, we'll wrap it up. Once again, thank you everyone so much for joining us for the show, for the Talkback. We hope it was both informative and fun. Worlds Elsewhere has lots more exciting projects coming up really soon, so keep an eye out on our website and social media feeds. Our next major production will be our charity stream for this year, which is Keen Nguyen's She Kills Monsters, directed by our own Mike Fadum and benefiting Trans Lifeline and Mermaids UK. More information about that on the website and coming on our social media feeds soon. And as a special treat, as we have snuck in a couple of times, a behind-the-scenes video edited by Laura Crone will be about the making of this show, and the process of workshopping a show will be coming probably Tuesday. So keep an eye out for that. And once again, we remind you that in addition to all of the YouTube stuff, like and subscribe, you know the deal. We are a charity theater. And we accept all donations. We are now a 501c3 charity as of earlier.
Official.
It is official.
We're officially a nonprofit.
It's not on the website yet, but we have announced it on social media. So all donations, which include tickets, are tax deductible in the United States. And we always welcome donations because they make it possible for us to do the work that we do, and which is making theater despite and in part because of everything going on right now. So once again, we thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed your flight. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Oh, oops.